So, knowing your strengths can greatly enhance your ability to set and achieve meaningful goals. And then Kenneth gave a great example, and some other examples were mentioned. Um, let's take a moment to look at and discuss how understanding your strengths can enhance your goal setting process. Here's a few examples. Having that clarity and focus, recognizing your strengths provides clarity about your capabilities and areas that you can excel. Um, this clarity helps you set specific and achievable goals. Reminds me of, SMART goals, for example, as you can leverage your strengths to work towards them effectively. Maybe it helps with intrinsic motivation. Pursuing goals that leverage your strengths can be intrinsically motivating. You're more likely to stay committed and engaged because you find the process enjoyable and fulfilling. Increase resilience. Knowing your strengths can contribute to greater resilience when facing setbacks. You can draw upon your strengths to cope with challenges, learn from failures, and you persevere. Knowing time management, again, going back to Kenneth's, example, having that organization might help in this area. Setting goals that align with your strengths enables you to prioritize tasks that come more naturally to you. And that results in more effective time management and ability to focus on high impact activities. And there's a number of other ones. I won't read through them all, but I will ask you a question. Now, consider your own goals and ask yourself which of these tools you connect with the most and why, or or which one of these can you see you leveraging to reach those goals. So consider your goals and ask yourself which one of these you connect with and maybe will help you achieve your own goals and why. You could type in the chat. Laura says goal adaptation. Any other thoughts? Clarity and focus. Following learning experiences. Nice. For me, I know that effective time management is up there as well. So I think managing our time is pretty critical. For me, I use a tool. I just use a calendar. I actually have a bulleted list, and then I can move it around if I need to. So I make it like a to-do list, but I also make it flexible, and they both have a time, like a 30-minute. I batch the task as well. So problem solving and adaptability. Yep, I think that's pretty critical. And then yeah, in CTI language, they use the term fierce courage, which I love. So courage is definitely a great one, Alicia. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, time blocking as well. I love that one as well. Some people use color-coded calendars. A mentor of mine, organizational mentor, uses color-coded things. So you might have like from 9 to 11, I'm going to do interviews, or I mean, if that's the time you typically tell people you're available, maybe from 11 to 1, with a little bit of a lunch, might do some job searching. And then from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., networking events, whether it's virtual or in person. So time blocking, yeah, Joni, is really useful. So next, let's touch on aligning tasks with strengths, which can have quite an impact on performance and enjoyment of those tasks. So things like enhanced competence, reduced effort, positive mindset, and continuous improvement. So all these can have an impact on performance. Any of these resonate with you?
Hey, Mark, can you say something more about the intrinsic motivation as a strength?
Sure. Basically, intrinsic motivation, that's about engaging in activities that align with your strengths. Um, you derive satisfaction, fulfillment from using your talents, and that keeps you engaged and enthusiastic. So that's what intrinsic motivation is basically about.
Okay, thanks.
Could that also be inner drive to be more resilient? That's another way I think about it.
I would
Or is
say
that
so.
something
Yeah, that's
entirely
nice.
else?
I mean, in my mind, that would be similar, if not, yeah, I would say it's similar. One other one that I particularly like is engagement and flow. That's not listed here, but again, getting into those flow states where you're fully absorbed and immersed in the activity, and that allows you to have deep enjoyment and peak performance. So, considering that aligning tasks with your strengths improves both your performance and your enjoyment of them. And it allows you to excel, maintain high levels of motivation, and experience a deep sense of satisfaction. Think of a time when you leverage one or more of your strengths to overcome a challenge. What happened? You could type in the chat. Or if you want to come off the mic for this one, that might be good. So think of a time when you leverage one or more of your strengths to overcome a challenge and what happened.
I think of stick-to-itiveness and good listening to help with a difficult set of students that I had.
I think that's a great example.
Can you say more about that situation?
Oh, for me, I was in had joined a business college faculty that had very low morale. So I was entering classes in the middle of teaching them, and I had a lot of students that were negative. And the example I think of is that I just tried to stick to the curriculum, and a student said, "You won me over. I was your worst critic at the beginning." So that was an example.
That's an awesome example. That kind of reminds me of my own son. He's 14, and I have to find ways of engaging him and motivating him. I don't know if that's a strength. I think it's more of a requirement being a parent, but I appreciate that example that you gave.